This meeting of the Littleton Licensing Authority will come to order. City Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Authority Member Bradish.
Here.
Authority Member Cole.
Here.
Authority Member Odell.
Here.
Authority Member Levere.
Here.
Authority Member Mather.
Here.
Authority Member Peterson.
Here.
Authority Member Webb.
Here.
Thank you. Next item is approval of tonight's agenda. We have that in front of us. Anyone have any questions or disagreements with it?
I'll move we approve tonight's agenda.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Next item of business is not on the agenda, but the city attorney would like to address the authority at this time.
I just wanted to let the authority know that City Council voted a change in the code so that our video recordings will actually be the minutes for all boards, commissions, authorities, and the council itself. So what you're approving tonight as the minutes is actually the video recording. And what we've decided to do is that the clerk for each of the boards or the council reviews that recording to make sure it's complete and accurate and there aren't any it didn't shut off and there aren't areas where you can't, hear what's going on. And then she certifies to you, the journal of the authority, and certifies that that video is complete and accurate. And then you'll see in the staff communication, the proposed motion that you're approving that video recording as the minutes based on her certification. And so just a couple of things to keep in mind. Because our video is our minutes, be sure and speak into the microphone. We shouldn't be taking any comments from out in the audience because we need to make sure everything runs through the microphones and gets on the video.
So when we approve the minutes, we're actually approving the city clerk's certification of the video.
Yes, you're approving the video as the minutes.
Still go through the motions of doing it.
And if you could use the proposed motion in the staff communication, I would appreciate it.
Okay. Next item of business is approval of the minutes. As it was just explained to us, I make a motion that we approve the certification of the minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye. Abstain, because I wasn't here.
Just a clarification,
noted.
sir, just a clarification that you're approving, sorry, we'll get this down. It's a little rough right now, that we're approving the video as the minutes based on the certification.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Next item of business, renewal hearings for AMA Enterprises Incorporated doing business as Dub's Pub, 5301 South Broadway. Good evening.
Good evening. Members of the authority, my name is Kevin Coates. I'm from Dill & Dill. My registration number is 25995. I appear here as the attorney for the licensee, Dub's Pub. This is Tony Montague, who's the owner, registered manager of this location.
So the issue before the authority tonight is whether to schedule a renewal hearing for AMA Enterprises, Inc. doing business as Dub's Pub. And generally, our renewals are handled administratively under our code, unless there is information that is referred to us by the police department that causes concern, and the city attorney or the authority chair do not feel comfortable granting that renewal administratively. Our licensing guidelines provide that no testimony is generally taken at this stage, but I did talk to Mr. Coates and Chairman Bradish, and we think it would be helpful to have the licensee briefly address the authority just to explain some of the policies they have in place and explain the 2 police reports that had caused me some concern. Attached to the application is exhibits A through D, and I'd ask that those be admitted into the record.
I'll move that we admit exhibits A through D. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So the 2 case reports that the renewal memo from the police department actually reported back, it looks like 5 different case reports, and the 2 that I attached to your staff communication are number 5517 and 2764. And I will let Mr. Coates address the authority. I would recommend that we go ahead and grant the renewal at this point, and I'll let him address the authority.
Looking for the chairman to look at me to tell me it's all right to talk.
I think we're ready to go with you.
I appreciate it. Thank you for hearing from me. I understand you don't normally take testimony and don't consider this to be testimony. It's basically just comment in hopes that we do have a renewal and not set this matter for a non-renewal hearing, essentially. There are two reports that are referenced, and so I'll talk briefly about those two particular reports. I think the longer I talk, the more trouble I'm going to get in here tonight, so I think I'll make it quick. But with respect to those two reports, I'll also discuss some of the things that proactively we're doing to make sure to take care of issues associated with visible intoxicated persons, and I think that's the emphasis of the two reports in the request. The first report, which ends in the number 7, the individual that came into the bar in this particular location and was found outside in the parking lot, apparently roughhousing, or as he claims, play fighting with another individual. He had been in the bar. Our bartender does indicate very clearly that he was not intoxicated or visibly intoxicated at any time that he was served. He did leave the establishment, and what a proactive step we've taken going forward with this individual is he can't come back. And that's part of the policies and written policies and procedures that this licensee does have in place associated with its 5 employees at this location, that they can refuse service to anyone. And that is an individual now that related to whatever occurred on this particular evening, although we would contest that there was not any service of alcohol to a visibly intoxicated person. He's not coming back because he went out and caused obviously some sort of problem for the town. The second report that you have there ending in the number 4, this woman came in, and this is an odd one for us because this is our call. We called this in to the police department. This woman was actually defacing some of the property at the location. She was never served by the bar. So she came in, she was acting oddly. It's possible that she might have received a drink from another person that bought it, but the bar individuals and working that night never served this person alcohol. She indicates that she'd had 4 or 5 drinks that night, but not at our place. So, so she was never served alcohol. So, in terms of the number of reports that you have, which is 2, with a concern associated with service issues of alcohol, one of them didn't even involve us serving the person. That person obviously has also been banned, from the bar. We didn't want her back. We didn't want her there that night. We called and asked for assistance to get her out of the bar because of obviously her behavior in terms of acting. Dub's Pub's been there a long time. It's 28 years. Ms. Montague's been involved with it the last 20 as owner and operator. Her 2 daughters work there, Alexis and Brooke. They have 3 other employees that obviously are subject to these policies and procedures that they renew every year associated with alcohol sales. And the issue really only here that's been presented relates to over-service issues. It's very important to them. It's important to them because they don't want trouble from the town, but they don't want these individuals to go out and cause trouble for the town either. They have in their written policies and procedures a taxi program set up. They monitor individuals, and they're making sure that if, in fact, somebody caused issues inside the bar, 1, they're cut off and not served, but 2, they try to make arrangements to get them a taxi to get them home so that they're not going to be put out into the city and cause additional problems. I know you've had licensees that have, in this jurisdiction that have caused, bites, disturbances, those type of things. I think really we're down to just an issue of it's been raised as a concern as to what happened with these 2 particular incidents. I can tell you that they are all tip certified, and serendipity is the word. Mr. Scott is present here tonight. He's going to testify, and you're going to hear from him. You know Max Scott from Oedipus. He's also a responsible vendor training under the state of Colorado and certified. Ms. Montague has gotten his card to maybe talk specifically about additional on-premise issues for taverns. And that's one of the nice things that Mr. Scott can do is he can kind of break up licenses as different than the TIPS program, which is more generic, make it more specific and related to this particular type of on-premise tavern license. And so there has been communication here, and Ms. Montague may very well follow up with that and have her remaining employees obviously retrained again associated with on-premise issues. We're asking the authority to obviously take these things into consideration, that it's taken very seriously by this particular operator who's been here a long time. They own the building. They own the property. And so it's a licensee that's long established here, and our hopes is that you'll renew the license with an understanding that this is a joint effort, essentially on behalf of the city as well as the licensee, to make sure that we have compliance.
I think the reason we wanted to talk to you before administratively approving the renewal application was these incidents were so compact in time and so recent. We're concerned about the possibility of a trend, escalating problems in the establishment, and I understand what you're saying. You can't be responsible for everything that happens in the parking lot. You can't be responsible for drunk people that come in and you don't serve. But I think one of the things we wanted to make clear to you is that we're watching. We want to make sure that there isn't a progression of offenses to where it gets to a over-serving or another liquor violation. You didn't mention the other incidents. There were 3 more.
They weren't attached to the letter, so I don't believe if you looked at those other incidents, one of them didn't even involve alcohol. The other one involved somebody who apparently, it's on 2 dates, but I think it's the 6th and the 7th of 1 month, so it's the same person, same event. And that event appeared to be more of a report of the person being drugged in some respect. We'd actually called that one in. From the bar in terms of this person who, again, and Alexis Montague was present here tonight. She monitored this particular individual and actually made the call to the authorities to come in because this person basically started having a lot of trouble, like quickly started having a lot of trouble. So something was off, and then that person later reported to the police department on a separate report that she believed that she'd been drugged. So I think that covers everything that was in the memo.
Yeah, I would personally commend you or your staff for keeping that eye open and recognizing that situation, because I personally have an experience with my sister having suffered something like that in a bar in downtown Denver, and I know how easily that can happen, and it's the staff that really makes a difference in those situations.
And the police didn't file no charges were filed and no citations were issued on any of these, correct? Okay.
Or administrative notices of violation.
Okay.
If my memory serves me, you've not been before this authority before for any kind of liquor violation, have you?
Well,
At least not as long as I've been here.
2008, we were here in front of this authority.
Really? Okay. My memory doesn't serve me.
Well, when I think Ms. Montague's, it wasn't exactly this authority. It was this authority in this room in front of this.
Well, it was still me.
Yeah, and I think it was still you. And
Long time.
You may be the only one I recognize and remember from that particular authority.
All right. Any other questions?
I have one for the city attorney. It's my understanding that in bringing someone, if they're not administrative approved, to a hearing for renewal of license, the only choice the authority has is to renew or not renew that license. Is that correct?
If we were to go to a renewal hearing, is that what you're asking?
If it would advance to a actual public hearing, and this authority decided to move it to that point, at that point, the 2 choices that the authority has is either to renew that license or to terminate that license. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Thank you. So I would like to make a comment that the authority being placed in a situation that, and I've been here about as long as Chairman Bradish, it is a relative rare circumstance when they do that, because the consequences are black and white. There is nothing in between. And it's my feeling there has to be a very solid benchmark before the authority brings a business establishment in for that type of hearing.
Correct. It's a very drastic measure. And to be clear, I do not think that this licensee should move forward to a renewal hearing. It's just that these reports, in particular, the 5517 report, raised questions for the chairman and I, and we didn't want that renewal to just be approved administratively, and we felt that it was more appropriate for the entire authority to look at that and make sure that they were comfortable moving forward with that renewal, so that that burden wasn't squarely just on the chairman to approve that.
Thank you.
Not to be too much of a stickler about process, but we're not taking testimony here. So should we be making our decision based on what we have on paper, or can it include, what we've heard tonight?
The guidelines are simply guidelines,
Okay.
and so you may take into account what you've heard this evening.
Would the proprietor like to speak before we?
Well, I can tell you that she's having some bad back issues today and been dealing with doctors all day, so she's present. But do you have anything else? Did I basically state everything that we discussed? You did. And understand that if you want to hear a statement, certainly we're here to give it. But I believe we've articulated everything that our position is related to requesting that essentially renew the license and not set this for hearing.
I have no further questions.
Mr. Chairman, I would offer a motion. I move that the renewal application for AMA Enterprises, Inc., doing business as Dub's Pub, 5301 South Broadway, be approved administratively by the chairman of the authority without the need for a public hearing thereon.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the renewal. Any further discussion? Would the city clerk please take the roll?
Authority Member Bradish.
Yes.
Authority Member Cole.
Yes.
Authority Member Odell.
Yes.
Authority Member Lavier.
Yes.
Authority Member Mather.
Yes.
Authority Member Peterson.
Yes.
Authority Member Webb.
Yes.
Motion is carried. Your renewal is approved. Thank you for coming in tonight. I appreciate your explanation of the situation. And best wishes.
Thank you, and thank you to council for the city, obviously letting us come up and talk and making the arrangements so that we could at least give an explanation and certainly some more information for the authority to consider. So thanks for the time, and
Thank you.
You folks have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item of business, number 7A, number 7 actually, liquor license application hearing for new H&R liquor license for Café de France Incorporated, doing business as Bistro at Aspen, looking to convert a wine and beer license to a hotel and restaurant license, as I understand it.
Well, to be clear, it's not a conversion, it's actually a new application.
A
if
whole new
approved.
application?
Yeah, there is no upgrade as far as the state's concerned, so it is a whole new application. So in the event that this is approved, the beer and wine license will go away.
Okay. City Attorney, we've got a bunch of exhibits we need to approve.
Sure. I'd ask that exhibits A through G be admitted into the record.
So
I would
moved.
move that we approve the exhibits A through G.
Second.
I'll second. Okay. All in favor?
Aye. Any
Any opposed? Motion carried. At this time, I would call Café de France forward. Good evening.
Good evening.
You're
Barry,
the owner.
the owner of
Since you're not an attorney, I have to put you under oath.
Of
if you
course.
don't mind. You swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give before this authority is truthful?
yes.
Thank you.
Can we get your last name, sir?
Gilani, Gilani.
Thank you.
You may proceed.
Well, I'm an owner of the Capital France Inc., doing business at the Bistro at Aspen Grove. I've had this location since 2006. I started with a beer and wine license, and recently I think I should have had the full liquor license from the beginning. It came then after 6-7 years. I thought that there was a need for, especially Saturday, Sunday morning, when people requesting like a Bloody Mary, and it's not a bar at all. It's just serving a drink for the people having dinner. 1 or 2 maximum is not a place for people to get rowdy and get a drink or have too many drinks. It's just a drink with a dinner. That's all it is, nothing more.
You've been in business how many years in that location?
In Colorado since 2001. And then I moved to Littleton at 2006. And been at this location since 2006 to the present.
And in that time, you've had any liquor violations?
No, none.
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 Would you like to move ahead with your petition presentation? I noticed the petition experts are here. Hello.
Hello. I need sworn in too, I believe.
I have to swear you too. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give before this authority is truthful?
I do.
Thank you.
Good evening.
What is your name, please?
Carol Johnson, Johnson. We did the business petitions on Friday, April 25th, and the residents on Saturday, April 26th. I did the businesses personally, and we had a team of 4 people that worked on the residential petitions. As always, we met at the location, passed out the clipboards with the map, the warning page with the type of license, the hearing date, applicant's name, etc. We did a total of, and signature pages for yes or no, and data sheets, which we listed every address and the response thereat. We did a total of 534 door knocks, of which 199 people signed. 33 declined to sign, 28 were ineligible, and 300 did not respond to the door. We had 172 residents and 24 business owners for a total of 196 in support for 98.5%. We had 3 residents and 0 business owners in opposition for a total of 1.5%. The reasons stated for signing in opposition: 1 felt there were sufficient number of outlets, and 2 did not give a reason or a non-applicable reason. So in the final analysis of the needs and desires, we had 196 in favor for 99.5% and 1 in opposition for 0.05% for 197 or 100%. I'd be glad to answer any questions.
Everyone's, I assume, had a chance to go over the petition information, and do we have any questions?
I don't have any.
I don't have any.
No questions.
That being said, I think I'm prepared to entertain a motion to approve the license. Does the city attorney have anything to say?
No, nothing to add.
Mr. Chairman, I will offer a motion. I move to close the public hearing.
I'm sorry. If there's anyone in the public that's here to testify, we need to ask.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
This is a public hearing, so if we need to make sure that there's no one in the audience that wants to testify on this application.
Thank you. Anyone here that is interested in speaking for or against this? Apparently not. Proceed with the motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move to close the public hearing and that a resolution of the Littleton Licensing Authority be approved, which grants Cafe de France, Inc., doing business as Bistro at Aspen Grove, 7301 South Santa Fe Drive, number 180G-1, Littleton, Colorado, a hotel and restaurant liquor license contingent upon receipt and approval of reports from the Colorado Bureau of Investigation and approval by the Colorado Liquor Enforcement Division, and based upon the following findings of fact. 1, that notice of the hearing was properly posted and published. 2, that the applicant has possession of the premises and the premises are suitable for the requested license. 3, that the needs of the neighborhood are not now being met. 4, that it is the desire of the adult inhabitants of the neighborhood that the license be issued. 5, that existing similar liquor licenses in the designated neighborhood are not adequate. And 6, that the applicant and registered manager are persons of good moral character, record, and reputation.
I'll second the motion. Any discussion? City Clerk, would you poll the authority?
Authority Member Bradish?
Yes.
Authority Member Cole?
Yes.
Authority Member Odell?
Yes.
Authority Member Lavier?
Yes.
Authority Member Mather?
Yes.
Motion is carried. License is approved. Congratulations. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck in your business.
Thank you.
Next item of business, item number 7B, an application for a new license for the Boardroom Incorporated, doing business as the Boardroom, 51 West Dry Creek Court, Littleton, Colorado.
I would ask that the board admit exhibits A through G into the record.
I'll move we admit exhibits A through G.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
You are Alex Woods.
I am. My name is Alex Woods, last name spelled W-O-O-D-S.
I'm going to have to put you under oath.
Okay.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give before this authority is truthful?
I do.
Thank you.
Like I said, my name is Alex Woods. I have lived in Colorado my entire life and in the city of Littleton since I was 6 years old. I've recently established a business called the Boardroom. We've recently acquired an old familiar building at 51 West Dry Creek Court here in Littleton, Colorado, like I said, formerly known as Marie Callender's. Marie Callender's has been closed since December of 2011, and we are very proud and very excited to reopen this restaurant and provide breakfast, lunch, and dinner to our community. I'd like to read you a little bit of our vision statement, but my purpose here today is I applied for a hotel and restaurant license, and so I'm hoping that with everything that we have done and the petitioning that we've done, and that I can convey to you that we've done what we need to do and that there is a need and desire to have this restaurant open up and to have me granted a hotel and restaurant license. Like I said, we're very excited to open up this restaurant, and it seems like everybody else is too. A lot of people stop by every single day. We're under construction right now. We have a projection date, hopefully the beginning of August. We'll have to see how it goes. But the vision of the Boardroom is to be the go-to establishment in the South Littleton trade area for guests looking for a unique atmosphere that provides a high level of food, service, and options for business or pleasure. In addition to a growing, successful restaurant, our goal is to develop a reputation throughout the city of Littleton and Denver, Colorado metropolitan area that the boardroom is exciting, affordable, and always progressive. The mission of the boardroom is to provide a memorable experience for our guests by giving them the highest degree of service, food, and atmosphere, and one-of-a-kind establishment that keeps them coming back for more. Like I said, we want to be open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The boardroom will be an ideal place to gather socially or have business meetings outside of the office, from the sports enthusiasts to the CEOs. Guests will appreciate a casual and comfortable environment, prompt, professional, and friendly service, along with an extensive and reasonably priced menu. We'll be wired with the latest technology, and we'll have multiple high-definition televisions, really perfect for any occasion. By maintaining these objectives, we shall be assured of a fair profit and will allow us to contribute to the community we serve. I understand how important and the high level of responsibility it is to have a liquor license. It's not just about my livelihood, it's about the 40, 50 other employees that I have. And with that, our intent is to hire experienced people. If we find ourselves in a position not to have an experienced person, that we have ongoing training or provide resources for those people to serve alcohol responsible. Like I said, I have had experience in the restaurant business. I've actually had experience in on-premise and off-premise liquor license establishments at a high level. And like I said, I'm here to ask you to grant me my hotel and restaurant license for this establishment.
What is your experience with liquor previous to this?
In the last recent two and a half years, I was the general manager of a restaurant in downtown Denver. It was Rome's Saloon. Prior to that, I owned a liquor store in Jefferson County for 12 years.
What are going to be your hours? You said you're open breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Are you going to stay open beyond the dinner hour?
Our intent right at this moment is would like to be open at 7 a.m. and based on traffic flow, it looks like a 9:30, 10 o'clock type of closing hour. So probably a late dinner on a regular weekly basis. We're going to play it by ear a little bit for the weekends, but we definitely want our menu is pretty. It's simple, but it's broad and it includes a lot of cuts of steak. We're somewhat of a unique restaurant in the area. There's not too many places that you can come and get choice steaks in the area. So the focus will be, like I said, to serve our community, which is the business community within the area, the traffic that I'll naturally get going by on a daily basis, and dinner.
As a manager at Rome's Saloon and High Hopes Liquors, did you have any experiences, any adverse experiences? Did you have to go in front of a licensing authority and explain any violations? Were there any violations that involved you or employees under your manage?
I had in the last 2.5, 3 years, or 2.5 years that I've been at Rome's, I was challenged all the time, but we've never had a violation at that location. While I owned High Hopes Liquors, which was in Jefferson County in Littleton as well, approximately 2009, I had an employee that was working on his own by himself and made a mistake and did not check an ID. And he also was served personally. So yes, that was my only experience in the last 15 years that had happened, and yes, it was, under my watch, but I was not there. I did not participate in that in that sale, and he was a longtime employee, and it was his only mistake.
How many employees do you plan on having at the boardroom?
I'm projecting up to 40.
How many will be serving alcohol?
Probably 15.
Okay, and what kind of training will they have?
Well, I'm going to require them to at least be current with their TIPS training. In addition to that, we're going to do some ongoing refreshers, whether it's with IDs, current books that are provided, and secret shoppers. Like I said, I understand the high level of responsibility. I am not interested in being lazy in this department in any way, shape, or form. I can't afford it for myself or for anybody else. So.
Are there any other management people besides yourself?
At this point, I have not made a commitment on another manager. Obviously, I can't be there 24 hours a day. Again, this individual that I recruit won't be brand new. He'll have some experience. I think it's that important. This isn't for this size of a restaurant. It is not for somebody without the experience.
Mr. Woods, I just glanced at, I think there's a floor plan here. Do you plan to have a patio or an outdoor area?
Yes, sir.
And have you determined how you're going to isolate that so that people can't get into the patio area and leave the patio area?
Yes, the entire patio will have a barricade, a metal barricade. Obviously, I'm required to have some exits for emergencies, required by the fire department. And those will be designed according to plan, and I'm sure it's exit only. So the entrance to the patio will be from inside the bar, and inside the bar and restaurant will be a large opening. So we'll be able to see if anybody crosses that.
I think all of us are familiar with that space because of the previous company that was in there. You're obviously making extensive modifications to the premises.
Yes.
Could you give us a brief description of your changes?
Sure. Marie Callender's was designed probably 2/3 kitchen and 1/3 front. And in that kitchen, they had several rotisserie ovens to make their pies, so it's somewhat of a factory. I'm basically converting that to about 1/3 kitchen and 2/3 front because it's so unnecessary. But the amount of space, I think, now is being utilized in a very efficient way. We'll have a private room, so companies can have business meetings. We can have a space for reunions, youth sports, educational classrooms, family reunions, class reunions. So a lot of it's going to be cordoned off in a private room. Our building and the layout is very functional, and I think hopefully when we're up and running, you'll all come and see it and enjoy.
Where will you be storing the alcohol?
Right, we have two different places. We have a beer cooler that's designated for liquor and beer only. And then there will be a separate compartment in the dry storage for overstock.
And will those be locked?
Yes.
And then do you have one back door?
Pardon me?
One back door to the...
I do.
Okay.
Mr. Woods, are you having pool tables or billiards tables?
Yes.
Do I see a total of 4? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And what's the age of the people who will be allowed to participate in billiards or pool?
I don't think I would have an age limit on individuals using the pool tables. I didn't. I'm not. I don't. My vision is not to have just an adult crowd. I understand the neighborhood, and I know, how many family functions and family outings there are. So to prohibit anybody underage from using the pool tables, I don't think would be in my best interest. So I don't know if that's your question, but
Well, in your experience, what's the average age of a pool player?
My experience, individuals between 25 and 35.
All right. Thank you. That answers my question.
Okay.
Who did you have do your petition, or did you do it yourself?
No, I hired.
Okay. Are they here?
Yes, Max Scott.
Mr. Woods, you're an employee. You're not an owner of this business. Is that correct?
Not yet.
Okay. Would you like to have
Yes.
a petition presentation to show us there's a need for this business in the area?
If you don't mind, could I have Max Scott approach?
On the side.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give before this authority is truthful?
Yes, thank you and good evening.
Hey, Max, if we could have you step up into the microphone
Sure.
and speak directly into it.
Is Ms. Mather a new member of the authority?
No?
I didn't remember seeing your face. I'll do a brief horn toot anyway.
I look much younger.
What's that?
I look much younger than I used to.
We just passed into our 46th year of business. We've done about 6,000 licenses in the state of Colorado, many of those here in Littleton. And we're also at this point, the liquor licensing consultants for Wheat Ridge and Westminster. And at one time we had a contract with Littleton back in the 70s, long ago and far away. Anyway, we were retained by the applicant and paid in advance. Thank you very much. And we conducted the survey, pre-filed, and prepared a report. Do you folks have a copy of the report? And if
We
you
do.
do, is page 5 in color?
Yes.
On page 5, I'm just going to go from the top of the clipboard down. This was the map of the designated neighborhood. The designated neighborhood was provided by staff, and we surveyed parties in interest in the neighborhood. The blue areas are the businesses that we surveyed, and the pink areas are the residents that we surveyed, the point of which is to get a sampling throughout the defined neighborhood. We had 2 petition formats, one for business owners and managers, and the other one for residences. And just to refresh you on our petition format, it addresses the license, then right above the signature line, it explains why the survey is being conducted, and then says if you want any more information or you have a complaint about us, it provides the licensing clerk's name and telephone number. So after a person is voir dire as a party in interest, we ask them, do you favor or oppose the license? They execute on the petition format, and we encourage them to write in any reason that they'd like to communicate to the liquor authority. Commonly, it's the people that are opposed to the license are the ones that write in the reason. And this is based on several Rule 106 decisions that we've been involved in and are familiar with, 2 of which are published. We also had a briefing sheet and to include the menu when we do an on-premise license. Party in interest wants to know 2 things: what's the menu and when's it going to open? So we were able to provide them with that information to include the data about the patio. With that, I'll just go into the survey results. Item number 1, page 2, I'm telling the client we did what we contracted to do and we don't guarantee survey results. That's the second page of the agreement letter. Number 2 are how many people are for or against it for whatever reason. 39 businesses favoring, 152 residences, 1 business opposed, and 4 residents opposed. And we had 4 people who were opposed but didn't want to sign the petition format. So they were voir dire as a party in interest, and we take that and we write it down by address and gender and then report it. In the opposition signatures, we had 2 no need, something to the effect of there's enough or something like that. 1 abhorrence of alcohol. If you have an abhorrence of alcohol, you don't have a need for it, and that's the purpose of this hearing. 1 commercial usage objection and 1 miscellaneous reason. In this survey category, for or against for whatever reason, we have, if you round up, 96% favoring the issuance of the license. And then if you buy our argument as to eliminating desire reasons only, the needs and desires category, the survey result is, if you round up, 99%. Both survey categories show a need and a desire for a new hotel restaurant license, and the margin of error is 1.4%. Added in, subtracted out, both statistics are well over 50%, and I would argue the license should be granted. Then I have some more information, but maybe I'll stop and see if there were any questions about the survey. Keep moving. Speaking with Alex, one of the things that we do is we provide our training materials for responsible vendor training. We're certified with the state to do that in English and Spanish. And then we rehearse them through the basics. So on the first page, there's a chart. And on that chart, you go to box A2 for his class of license, and then you read across there, and it tells you days and hours of operation, beverages that can be sold, who can handle what containers, whether they can have alcohol in them or not, purchases at retail liquor stores, and so on and so forth. So I rehearsed him through that. He's familiar with most of that stuff, but there are some new changes in the statute. Then we went through the 6 forms of identification that are authorized, affirmative defense, and seizure of IDs, and then most importantly, logging any event that occurs, because it could be 60 or 90 days before you get charged with a violation, and you have to have some way to recall what happened and produce witnesses if that's necessary, and so on and so forth. So we're available to him, and if he wants us to do training, we'll be glad to do it, or he can just call me up on the phone and ask me a question. That's it.
Very good job. I don't have any questions.
I don't have any questions about the petition.
Thank you, Max.
Yeah, thank you. Nice seeing you all. Wish I saw you more often.
Yeah, you see us for good reasons.
None of them will beat that Safeway, though. That was the best.
Any other questions for Mr. Woods? I have one. Are you going to hire waitresses from Rome's to work here?
There might be one,
but just kidding.
It's not going to be that.
I think it's time for a motion. Would anyone like to?
I mentioned one more thing. You talked about the patio. I think Alex will confirm that I gave him one of the new warnings in CRS 1247. And if you post, the instruction is to post this warning, do not leave these premises, there's a fine, tra-la, tra-la, and you put it on every door and you put it on the patio. So there's this effort to keep alcohol from leaving the premises. And in theory, if you had that posted and you're trying to enforce it, you're not guilty of a violation if somebody sneaks out with a beer in their coat. I just thought I'd mention it.
Okay.
We don't expect that to happen.
I'd like to make a motion, but before I do, I wanted to make sure there's no one else that would like to testify. Is there anyone else?
I assume the 2 owners are present.
This is a public hearing, so just if anyone from the public wanted to testify.
Okay.
All right.
For a motion.
I'll make a motion. I move to close the public hearing and that a resolution of the Littleton Licensing Authority be approved, which grants the Boardroom, Inc., doing business as the Boardroom, 51 West Dry Creek Court, Littleton, Colorado, a hotel and restaurant liquor license contingent upon receipt and approval of reports from the Colorado Bureau of Investigation and approval by the Colorado Liquor Enforcement Division, and based upon the following findings of fact. 1, that notice of the hearing was properly posted and published. 2, that the applicant has possession of the premise and the premise are suitable for the requested license. 3, that the needs of the neighborhood are not now being met. 4, that it is the desire of the adult inhabitants of the neighborhood that the license be issued. 5, that existing similar liquor licenses in the neighborhood in the designated neighborhood are not adequate, and 6, that the applicant and registered agent and registered manager are persons of good moral character, record, and reputation.
I'll second the motion.
Moved and seconded. Do we have any further discussion? City Clerk, please poll the authority.
Authority Member Bradish?
Yes.
Authority Member Cole?
Yes.
Authority Member Odell?
Yes.
Authority Member Levere?
Yes.
Authority Member Bradish?
Motion is carried. Congratulations.
Mather?
Mather, yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's just because you look so
That-
young, Ann.
Yeah, it's because I'm so young. Yes.
I apologize. Congratulations,
Thank
sir.
you.
Good luck with your business. I know everybody has been looking forward to it opening, and I'm sure we won't see you again in this room.
I'm sorry, I might have missed it. When do you plan to open?
We're hoping for August 1st.
Okay.
And what's the menu?
Have a copy.
Steak.
Steak. I do have a copy if you'd like.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck. Okay.
Next item of business, finding of probable cause and scheduling show cause hearing for liquor code violations. Item 9A, probable cause, pyramid discount liquors.
Good evening, authority members. The issue tonight before you on this agenda item is whether there's probable cause to believe that Kurt Maelstrom, doing business as Pyramid Discount Liquors, located at 599 West Littleton Boulevard, violated the Colorado Liquor Code and Littleton City Code and should be scheduled for a public hearing to show cause, if any, why its license should not be suspended or revoked. This matter comes to the authority as a possible violation following the citation from an incident on April 17, 2014 at 9:32 p.m. The licensee's employee was cited with violation of Littleton City Code 3-2-10F. Other possible violations of the Colorado Liquor Code, in addition to Littleton City Code 3-2-10F, is Colorado Revised Statute 1247-901A, both dealing with, both those provisions deal with sale to intoxicated persons. I've attached case report 2014-001840 for your review, and I would ask that exhibits A and B be admitted into the record as
I'll move we admit exhibits A and B.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So staff does recommend that the authority find that there is probable cause to set the matter for a show cause hearing. If you do, then the show cause hearing should be set for August 13th, 2014, to allow for a preliminary hearing on a possible stipulation, if any, can be reached with the city prosecutor. And that preliminary hearing would be held on July 9th.
Mr. Chairman, do you need a motion?
Is there any discussion? Questions?
Just, of my opinion, looking here, there seems to be a lot of documentation about what was witnessed, and it seems to me all the criteria for those statutes. I would suggest that there's probably a good probable cause to set a hearing.
I would agree with that, in which case, unless anyone else has any comments, I'd ask for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to find that there is probable cause that Kurt A. Maelstrom, DBA Pyramid Discount Liquors, 599 West Littleton Boulevard, Littleton, Colorado, on April 17, 2012, approximately 9:32 p.m., did violate the Colorado Liquor Code and Littleton City Code, specifically CRS 12-47901A and City Code 3-2-10F. Based on said findings, I move that a public hearing be set for August 13th, 2014, for the purpose of considering the status of such license, wherein upon the above-mentioned licensee may be present to show cause, if any, why its license should not be suspended or revoked, and further, that notice of these findings and hearing to show cause shall be forwarded and served to Kurt A. Maelstrom, DBA Pyramid Discount Liquors, 599 West Littleton Boulevard, Littleton, Colorado, in accordance with the provisions of state law. I further move that a preliminary hearing, if necessary, be set for the 9th day of July 2014 for the purpose of considering a possible stipulation, if any, between the licensee and the City of Littleton.
Mr. Chairman, I will go ahead and usurp that motion as read by Mr. Peterson as my own, considering his standing as alternate. I think that's what I'm trying to.
I think you're correct, Peter.
I'll second.
I'm sorry, but that's a valid
Okay, fine.
claim.
But I do have a question for the city attorney also, after the motion is handled.
All right.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Poll the authority, please.
Authority Member Bradish?
Yes.
Authority Member Cole?
Yes.
Authority Member Odell?
Yes.
Authority Member Lavier?
Yes.
Authority Member Mather?
Yes.
Motion is approved. I see no other items until item 18, reports.
Mr. Chairman, may I pose a question to the city attorney?
Absolutely.
Based on the police reports that we've accepted as evidence, do we have the ability to compel the appearance of the clerk named in the offense report?
I think there's a procedure for subpoenaing that, yeah.
If it goes to show cause.
Yeah, if it goes to show cause, there's a procedure for subpoenaing that witness.
Okay.
And that's usually at the discretion of the city prosecutor. She would usually let me know who she wants subpoenaed.
Okay, well,
But they can be compelled
to appear before the authority?
to appear?
If they're subpoenaed, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good question. That's never come up before.
Well,
I can express that pass along that to the city prosecutor if we end up going to show cause hearing.
okay, because it's clear from the offense report, which has now been entered into the record, that the officer received substantial pushback as he tried to execute the citation and then cite the offender. And I think if we have the ability to compel the appearance of that person before this authority, we should exercise that.
I will convey that to the prosecutor.
Yeah, I think that would be a mitigating circumstance for the licensee to answer for.
So staff reports? Staff reports?
Yes.
Okay. So you may have noticed that we've moved, excuse me, to a new system called Legistar, which is why these staff communications and materials look a little different. But you can access all those materials online, and Colleen is an expert if you need help finding any of that or working your way through the website to get to those. She's a great resource to have. Second, I wanted to inform the authority that council did pass on first reading a prohibition on retail marijuana establishments in the city, and that will go to second reading on July 1st. Yeah, I think that's it.
Is that retail grow facilities, everything aside from
It's everything.
everything regarding recreational?
Yes,
Okay.
everything.
And is it permanent? Is there a time frame on it?
It's permanent. Of course, at any time, the council could bring forward an ordinance to decide to license them. So I suppose it's permanent until they change their mind to do something else.
I have a question for the city. Is it too early to discuss the August meeting, which always gets pushed around by more important
We
things?
were just talking about
We
that.
were talking about that. We are not in jeopardy of losing our chamber for that meeting. There will not be a carousel of music this year as part of Western Welcome Week. It is being replaced by a new event that's a full day, part Criterium Bicycle Race on August 9th, and then an event called the Little Jam in the evening, which will be music and food and beverages that we're working on the event permit for now.
So we can plan on
We
August
will be
13th.
meeting in here if we go to show cause
Thank you.
in August, yes. but thank you for bringing that up. And then I would just like to ask the authority, for those of you who have not yet RSVP'd for the Boards and Commissions dinner, which is being held on June 26th at Hudson Gardens, please do so via email either to myself or to Becky Fye by the 16th of this month.
Is that the same location as last year, or is it actually in the gardens?
It's the same, it's Hudson Gardens.
Oh, okay, that building's Hudson Gardens? Okay.
That's the inn at Hudson Gardens. Yeah, it's
Would
part
it
of
be
their property.
permissible to RSVP at this time?
Absolutely, Bill. And are you bringing the lovely Mrs.?
Anyone not attended to that yet?
I have RSVP'd.
I've
Yes.
RSVP'd.
I have likewise.
I'd like to take this opportunity to RSVP, and we'll have my wife along with me.
Any other reports?
Well, I do have one question. I was not aware of the ruling on Thursday, but prior to that, it seemed to be a little, at least to me, confusion on what really was going to end up coming before council in regard to recreational marijuana. Is there only going to be this one issue of a second reading prohibiting it before council, and that is the totality of it now?
Correct. So council considered two separate ordinances at their last meeting. One was to license retail stores and then the other ordinance they considered was to prohibit them. And they elected to move forward to second reading only with the prohibition one, obviously. And so the licensing one did not pass on first reading.
Thank you.
There being no further business before the authority, I would like to declare this meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
What an eight, look at that.
So